Hello everyone. Today we're going to be discussing the importance of warm-ups and dynamic stretches. Now, warm-ups and dynamic stretching is especially important whenever we start shooting, anytime you're actively participating in archery, and even when you're doing any sort of physical activity, whether sports, physical training, or anything like that. You want to make sure to get an adequate warm-up and dynamic stretch before any activity to minimize risk of injury, to make sure that you are shooting on all cylinders, and that your muscles are warm enough to actually move or have full range of motion they need to do your activity. Now, your aim for warm-up is 3 to 5 minutes where you're going to be physically getting your body warmer. This is particularly going to be the first step in making sure that your muscles are able to actually get full range of motion. So you're thinking general cardio exercises. Now you have to do them in a light to moderate pace so that you're not overexerting yourself. So things like high knees, jumping jacks, even jump rope, or some calisthenic workouts like squats, or even inchworms. Now, full body motions are going to be better for a warm-up than singular arm movements or anything like that. So once you actually get your heart rate up, you get your body warm, then you're ready for the next step, which is our dynamic stretch. Now, a dynamic stretch versus a static stretch is one where you are constantly moving through the stretching process. This is going to be the next step in being able to fully get range of motion. Now, a static stretch would be pulling your arm across and then holding that stretch there, versus a dynamic stretch is going to be in constant motion. So the equivalent would be arm swings going back and forward. Now, the benefits of dynamic stretching versus static stretching is that the muscle isn't going to get stretched to its extreme. That means that we can still use it effectively during our workouts. There's a lot of research out there that actually shows that static stretching before an activity or sport can be detrimental. Now, when we're actually doing a dynamic stretch, you want to try and incorporate the main muscle groups that we're using during the actual activity. Archery being very shoulder heavy, we are going to have a lot of arm movements. So first and foremost, like I showed you before, we're going to have arm swings. Some of our students dub these the Michael Phelps warm-up. We're going to have the tried and true arm circles, so starting small, making bigger circles, and then making sure to actually go backwards as well, and going down to smaller circles. We're going to have arms moving forward and backwards, really getting the extension of the chest and the back. So you're going to start off, and you can change your hand positions for each one of these every time. So going back, extending and stretching the chest, really squeezing the back, pushing forward, thumbs up, back, forward, thumbs to the side, back, and forward from the side. Those are really going to engage both the front and the back of the upper body, so those are really great for archery and shooting. Then going down to get a little bit of core engagement, you're going to be doing twists. So with your arms, you're going to be twisting your entire body back and forth. And then we want to go down, up to our necks. So making sure we're getting neck rotations, both backwards and forwards. Wrist rotations, one way and the other. And then we want to move down to our lower body. Now, our lower body is the stabilizer for our shot process. So we still need to make sure that we can engage those muscles and they have mobility. So even doing things like simple leg swings on one side, forward and backwards, and side to side, can really help kind of engage the lower body. Hip hinges are also a really good one, so making sure you're just bending down and really getting stretch on the back of the legs and the glutes are going to be really great for your dynamic stretch. Alright, so the third portion of our warm-up and dynamic stretch is going to be archery-specific movements. Now, this is only obviously important if you're going to be doing some sort of archery, SPTs, or actually training that day. If you're doing any sort of other physical activity, not necessary. Now, what we're going to be doing for this is mimicking the movements we have in archery with particularly a stretch band to really engage these particular movement patterns we actually have. So think of all the different movements you actually make with your shot process, and we're going to engage those muscles in a specific way. So when we're thinking about the draw side, You're going to get your stretch band, just lift your arms, and you're actually going to be pulling back. You're going to be exaggerating the motion past normal limits. So pulling back, and pulling back. When you're thinking about the bow hand side, you're going to be thinking about that pushing motion, really extending the arm. So from here, extending the arm out, or even under tension, lifting the arm up and down. If you're doing NTS, you should also be considering the core and twisting motion we actually have. So if you can actually hold this to something or just extend your arm out, you're also thinking about the exaggerated twisting motion that you're getting to really warm up the muscles so they engage properly. Now, this three-step process will make sure of two things. One, injury prevention. You're going to be in the best possible physical state to actually shoot your bow safely, comfortably, and well. It's going to make sure that you can shoot for a long time with having as few problems as possible. Number two is going to be on performance. Now, archers who've gone out to competition, you don't get a lot of warm-up rounds or anything like that. You ever noticed how it takes you a couple events to actually get your shot ready? Warm-ups is how you prevent that from happening. A proper warm-up, dynamic stretch, and archery-specific warm-up will make sure that the first arrow coming out of your bow is going to be a solid shot. So start incorporating this into your normal routines, and you can make sure that your performance goes where you want it to from the beginning. From all of us here at the Easton Newberry Archery Center, I'd like to thank you for watching. If you're interested in videos like this or other tips and tricks in the sport of archery, please be sure to follow our Facebook and Instagram pages as well as YouTube. We'll be posting more videos like this in the coming weeks and months. Thank you.